Hi, and welcome to Hill and Ponton's Disability Blog. I am Natalia Jofre, the company COO. And as you know, we're doing a series on different problematic medications and medical devices that are known to be in current litigation due to various reasons. We had done a series or a video blog previously on my top 5 with an honorable mention on Elmeron. And now we're going to do dedicated videos for each of the medications that were mentioned. So this one is regarding Zantac. There may be some major name recognition there because this medication was basically sold both by prescription and over the counter for almost 40 years. So that is a really long time. And we unfortunately expect to have a lot of people affected due to the use of Zantac. So what is Zantac? First of all, it's a heartburn medication. And what's the problem? We'll get into more of that. But unfortunately, a lot of people have developed bladder or stomach cancer as a result of using Zantac, or at least it's believed that they developed bladder or stomach cancer as a result of using Zantac. So can you imagine you're taking this medication for heartburn and you now end up with cancer? That is pretty catastrophic. And so that's where we're dedicating a blog to it and kind of the history and what happened and what to watch for. So first of all, regarding Zantac, you may be familiarized with it. I know I was. I was pretty much shocked when it got taken off the shelves because it seemed as if though one day they were literally airing commercials for this medication. Like I mentioned before, I remember the little cartoon firefighter who had a hose and would come out and extinguish your heartburn. Those were Zantac commercials. And that was just one of many campaigns that they had over their 4 decades of advertisements. And then the next day it got recalled and literally pulled off the shelves by the FDA in April of 2020. So why did this happen? NDMA, which is a chemical that is used to create tumors in laboratory rats for cancer research, was found to be in Zantac. The drug in Zantac is ranitidine, and they found that when ranitidine comes into contact with water, the chemical reaction creates NDMA. And of course, most people drink water regularly. Most people drink water to take their medication. So of course, that's pretty catastrophic because it's developing NDMA, which is believed to be a human carcinogen, right? So this chemical reaction basically can cause cancer. And so having NDMA in this medication, very bad news. I want to talk for a minute about prescription and non-prescription use. Because a lot of people say to me or, in general to firms, well, if it wasn't prescribed, how are you going to prove that I, in fact, took this medication? I did. I know I did. But how are you going to prove it? Or how do I prove it? How do I show that I, in fact, took this medication if it wasn't prescribed to me? So, normally when you go to the doctor, you fill out those forms. And in those forms, you talk about your medications, right? And you have to list both medications that are prescribed and that aren't prescribed, right? Anything that you're taking over the counter. And they normally even tell you, even if it's supplements, even if it's homeopathic, even if it's vitamins, whatever it is that you're taking, we want to know what you're taking. And so many times people will write there what it is that they're taking, whatever over-the-counter medication it is. Another instance where it can show up in your medical records is that your doctor will recommend that you take this medication. Once again, speaking to my personal experience, I know that that's happened to me. It's happened to my husband, where we were told, oh, just pick up some Nexium, or in this case, buy some Zantac. It's sold over the counter. You don't even need a prescription anymore. And the doctor will normally note that in your medical records. So that's another place where it could be hidden in your medical records and you don't even know it, okay? Where you were basically told to take this medication, even though you didn't have to have a prescription, it's in there that you were taking it. Other ways, if you save your receipts, like for tax purposes, right? All of your medical expenses, And by the way, you don't have to do this. You don't have to have these. These are just ways that you could potentially find documentation to show that you took this over-the-counter medication. But if you happen to have any receipts where you purchased that medication, that's another way to prove that this was something that you took. And then last but not least, you could still have those bottles rattling around the house. Normally when stuff gets recalled, people don't go back through their medicine cabinets and, clean them out. And, that little basket you have in the bathroom where you keep all sorts of different medications and things pile up over the years. If you have containers of the medication from when you bought it and it's now been recalled, but you still have it and it shows that you took it, that could be another way to prove that. So all of this to say, if you took Zantac or any other medication, by the way, that's been recalled, and it was over the counter, and you have now developed something like bladder or stomach cancer, okay, which are the primary problems caused by Zantac use, and you're worried, well, how will I prove that? Please don't let that be what keeps you from contacting an attorney and discussing a potential claim. Let them figure that out. Let them help you with that. You can help with that process, but that shouldn't be what your focus is on, okay? If you took this medication and you ended up developing bladder or stomach cancer, you need to talk to someone, okay? And we can help you figure the rest out. So we talked about what's wrong with it. NDMA is in it. Now, what you need to know about NDMA. Like I said, it's known to be a carcinogen, or it's believed to be a carcinogen in human beings. Short-term exposure can cause liver damage. Long-term exposure can cause liver, kidney, lung tumors, and symptoms of overexposure can be headaches, fever, nausea, jaundice, vomiting, abdominal cramps, enlarged liver, reduced function of the liver, kidneys, and lungs, dizziness. These should all be red flags, okay? If you're having any of those and this is a medication you've been taking, okay, 1 + 1, start making those connections. Maybe I need to be talking to my doctor. Maybe I need to have a screening. Maybe we need to get some tests run. Unfortunately, bladder cancer particularly tends to go undiagnosed or misdiagnosed for a long time. You need to have some pretty specific tests to be diagnosed for bladder or stomach cancer. So the reason I mention these conditions is just as a warning, okay? These are red flags. If you've taken this medication and you have any of these, you should be talking to your physician. Other adverse effects associated with Zantac are nervous system disorders, arrhythmia or tachycardia, which is basically an irregular heartbeat or a fast or rapid heartbeat, vitamin B12 deficiency, hepatitis, liver failure, jaundice, high risk of pneumonia, low platelet levels in your blood, skin rashes, and hair loss. So all of these warning signs, okay, that you may have an overexposure to NDMA. And like I mentioned in another blog, NDMA was also found in Valsartan, okay? So if you're having any of these, start paying attention for any potential bigger problems if these are medications that you have taken. So bottom line, if you use Zantac and you developed blood or stomach cancer, I strongly encourage you to speak with an attorney regarding a potential claim. Of course, you can call our office. You can visit our website with any inquiries as well. But other than that, I hope that you'll continue watching this series because we do have other medications to alert you about that we'll talk in much greater detail. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this blog, please click the button below to subscribe to this series. Also remember to click on the alert bell next to it. That way you're alerted when new videos are available. And we hope you'll join us again. Thank you so much.